Well, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us as we begin the process to find a developer for the block immediately north of the Governor's Mansion, which the city has purchased. There is no question that this block will provide a fantastic opportunity for development. It is the most developable block in Springfield and may be the most developable block in downstate Illinois. This block offers us the opportunity to transform the downtown area as we have an entire square block to work with. It is like an easel, a blank easel, awaiting an artist to draw a masterpiece. The long-term impact on our downtown will be immeasurable. It is my hope that we can use this block to anchor a new tax increment district when the existing capital area tax increment district expires in 2016. For practical purposes, this block has sat vacant with the exception of a parking lot and a vacant building since the Abraham Lincoln Hotel was imploded in 1978. I want to thank Alderman Corey Jobe and the members of the City Council for approving the purchase of this block. We owe a great deal of thanks to Governor Quinn, Senator Durbin, and State Senator Menard for their assistance in having this state-owned property declared surplus so it would be available to the city of Springfield. The ordinance that was passed to purchase the property indicated that I would name a committee to solicit proposals for the development of the block. It is my honor to introduce a group of volunteers who have demonstrated their commitment to the downtown and our community, who will make up the Mayor's North Mansion Block Committee. The property is located in Ward 6, and it is my pleasure to name Alderman Corey Jobe as the chair of the committee. Joining Alderman Jobe will be Gary Clayton, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Illinois Association of Realtors, an organization that built the newest building in downtown Springfield. Karen Kahn, who is the President of Downtown Springfield Incorporated's Board of Directors and a downtown business owner of multiple businesses. Dan Duggan, the Executive Chairman of Springfield Electric Supply Company and co-chair of the Q5 Strategic Leadership Council. Tom Fitch, a civil engineer and vice president of Harold O'Shea Builders and the chair of the Greater Springfield Chamber of Commerce. Bruce Ferry, an architect with Ferry and Associates Architects, member of ESTAT, who was instrumental in the city acquiring the YMCA property. Tom Gill, who is the Chief Operating Officer of the Illinois National Bank, the immediate past chair of the Q5 board, and a member of the Board of Directors of the Greater Springfield Chamber of Commerce. Willis Logan, Executive Assistant to the Mayor, former Director of the Springfield Housing Authority, and a former Director of the city's Community Development Department. Steve Myers, a downtown property owner and property manager, past president of both the Capital Area Board of Realtors and Downtown Springfield Incorporated, as well as an ESTAT and Community Foundation member. Carolyn Oxtoby, who was the first Downtown Springfield Incorporated president and the first Heritage Foundation president, and a resident, multiple downtown property owner and redeveloper, who is a former Copley First Citizen winner. Chuck Pell, an architect and owner of CJP Architects and the former ESTAT co-chair. Lisa Stott, the owner of Edgewise Consulting and the ESTAT co-chair. Joan Walters, downtown resident and volunteer extraordinaire, who is a retired government finance executive. And Jeff Wilday, a partner and an attorney with Brown, Hay, and Stevens, Springfield's oldest law firm, who is the president of Downtown Springfield's Board of Trustees. The committee is charged with preparing a request for qualifications and a request for proposals for distribution to potential developers. It is my hope that the committee would consider and create a new and transformative name for this block. In time, this block will be an economic hub and a catalyst for downtown development. Director Farmer and the Office of Planning and Economic Development will provide staff support to the committee. I would now like to turn the podium over to the chair of the committee, Alderman Joe.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. First off, I want to thank Mayor Houston for the honor and the opportunity to chair this vitally important committee. It's also a pleasure to stand with a very distinguished group of community leaders, business leaders, and association members who have been asked to join the Mayor's North Mansion Block Committee. As the mayor indicated, this is the most developable block in Springfield with the potential to change the landscape of our downtown and urban core, since I think we had the opportunity to develop the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library and Museum complex years ago. The acquisition of this property was not an easy one, and it was a challenge, and it was a long time coming. It took a lot of work and focus, and the city did not do it alone. It took relationships and partnerships to make it a reality. I first want to thank a few individuals. I want to particularly thank State Senator Andy Manar. State Senator Manar was in the forefront in negotiations to make it a reality, working with CMS, the Central Management System, and various state leaders. I also want to thank Senator Dick Durbin and Bill Houlihan from Senator Durbin's office, Governor Quinn and his team for making the acquisition a reality. I also want to thank the countless letters of support from the City Council, the Mayor, Downtown Springfield Inc., SDAT, the Chamber, and many others helped to secure the support we needed and deserved. I ask that an advisory committee be appointed by the Mayor as part of the ordinance to purchase the property from the state. As we look to transform the block, I thought it was necessary to have an advisory committee in place to ensure that everyone's voice was heard. The voices of so many who over the years have either planned, promoted, or encouraged growth in our urban core and downtown community. And today, Mayor Houston has delivered on that promise by appointing the important committee that you see behind me today. So let's take this opportunity to dream big and to make this our time for a new day in the capital city. Again, thank you, Mayor Houston, for your support.
Questions?
Ms. Gunn, could you come up, please?
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm wonderful, and yourself?
I'm on the right side of the dirt.
Well, be gentle to me.
You are so instrumental, such a public figure with the redevelopment of downtown. I know we're in the infancy of this committee, but what are some of the ideas kind of knocking around in your head right now?
I think it's too premature to really discuss those ideas. Don't think that I don't have them. I've traveled the country a lot, and that's how I've been able to do the projects that I've done. I'm going to take those same ideas and try to incorporate them as we sit down and we discuss what it's going to take for, the criteria for the request for proposals.
Are we looking at a mixed use type of use for that? I mean, no more.
I think it would be. I think it would be fair to say that everybody standing behind me, we're looking at a mixed use property.
Residential, commercial.
Potentially, yeah.
Is there any sort of timeline at this point that you nail down when you want to get RFPs out or when you actually see something there? Anything at this point?
I probably am not the best one to ask because as a committee we haven't met for the first time. This is
for anybody.
Mayor.
I would think that the committee could operate fairly quickly, so that as we look at this, what you have to keep in mind is that you're really going to be going through multiple steps. First step is to develop the qualifications and the request for proposal. So I would fully expect that the request for proposals will go out probably sometime in the first 3 to 4 months of 2015. Now, depending upon when it goes out, you'll have to make a determination, and the committee will have to make that determination, is what is a reasonable time frame for someone to be able to look at that and develop that. So that really as we look at the first step, which is the request for proposals, that should be sometime early next year in terms of getting it out, but the exact time in terms of those being returned would be another question.
Are there any numbers on the financial impact and once it's developed, and what are some goals the city would like to see?
One of the reasons that the capital area, or the downtown tax increment district, has been successful is that we had something called the Near North Village that was located between 4th and 5th and Jefferson and Madison that became the anchor. As we talk about the capital area tax increment district expiring in 2016, what this really offers us is a potential to create a new tax increment district after the expiration of the existing district, and then to try to make this block an anchor that once it is developed, it could provide some immediate increment, which would then allow for other development within the city. In terms of specific dollars, there's no one that is going to be able to give you anything but a guess at this particular time. It really will be dependent upon the development that takes place there and what kind of new tax dollars it can generate.
Will that building come down?
I think that the committee will be looking at that and making that type of a determination. There really is two approaches that you could take. One would be to take the buildings down that is there now and have it totally ready for development, or proposals could be solicited with the idea that that building is there if someone wants to incorporate that within development. That would be something else that the committee would take a look at and ultimately make a recommendation on.